Good evening and welcome to our board meeting. I would like to call the school board meeting for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022 for the Des Moines Public Schools to order. Ms. Rivera, could you please take the roll?
Yes, Ms. Alonso Diaz,
Here.
Ms. Bradley,
Here.
Ms. Caldwell Johnson, Ms. Knox,
Here.
Ms. Martirano,
Here.
Ms. Norris. Okay, and Ms. Sawyer.
Here.
I'm not on. Am I on? There we go. Before we begin our first item of business, I would like to do a check-in with everyone to see how you're doing this evening. Would like to hear from all who feel comfortable sharing at this time. We'll spend about 10 minutes doing a quick check-in, and then we will get started with our official business.
I'm feeling a bit frustrated and heartbroken today. And I'm glad to be here by a supportive group or with a supportive team and humans that care about me and lift me up. So thank you.
I'm feeling refreshed, only because I had an opportunity to actually get away from everything and unplug for a few days. So excited to just come back to the work.
I'm feeling grateful, very grateful to have such a great group of people to work with.
Not to put levity on this situation because we may be getting out earlier than planned, but I'm dreading going home because there's 25 state track qualifiers in my house, and I thought I was going to have to work late tonight. I had a great excuse. So, but more importantly, I'm so proud. I continue to be so proud of all the DMPS students and all of their accomplishments, and obviously all the coaches and teachers that support them each and every day, and administrators too.
I am feeling ready to be here and looking forward to spending the evening with all of you.
Thank you all, and I am excited to be here as well and hoping that we can get out of here before the storms hit if they're coming our way. So happy to be here this evening and get things going with our meeting. We will go ahead and get started with the first item of business is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Norris, motion to approve.
Second, Martirano.
We have a motion by Ms. Norris and a second by Ms. Martirano. Please, board members, cast your votes.
That's right.
The vote is approved, 6-0. Next on the agenda is public forum. We provide speakers at the forum an opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes regarding items that are not on the board agenda. If anyone wishes to speak during this forum, please email rosa.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Speakers will be called individually, and we ask they please state their name and address prior to providing comments. Students and minors do not have to give their address. Guests of the board are encouraged to speak to matters relating to the program, services, and operations of DMPS. Please remember that Iowa law prohibits us from discussing specific employees or their job performance. Please avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those types of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. Thank you for your support of our school district. We appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, the public forum is not a time for board engagement and discussion, as it is our obligation to discuss only matters posted in the public agenda for the sake of transparency and opportunity afforded to all community stakeholders. Matters requiring attention will receive appropriate staff and/or board follow-up at a time after the meeting. Ms. Rivera, do we have any speakers this evening?
Yes, we do. We have Molly. If you are in the room, please go ahead and approach the podium. Molly Ware? Okay, that is all.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are consent items. We allow any person the opportunity to speak to the board for up to 5 minutes following the presentation of an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak to an agenda item, please email rosa.rivera-hernandez@dmschools.org. Remarks must be germane to the agenda, and we ask that you avoid reference to personalities and character attacks, as those type of comments serve no productive purpose. We appreciate your input. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in discussion or deliberation with the speaker regarding comments made to agenda items. Discussion and deliberation will remain among board members at the board table, with speakers' comments informing said discussion, deliberation, and determinations as deemed necessary. Ms. Rivera, do we have any speakers this evening?
We do not.
Ms. Martirano, I believe you have the consent motion.
We're just moving right along. I move that the board approve the consent items in accordance with the recommended action for each item on the consent agenda, including bills previously authorized, certified, and approved for payment by the board secretary in the amount of $5,752,844.53.
Is there a second?
Sawyer, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Martirano and a second by Ms. Sawyer. Is there any discussion or questions? Board members, please cast your votes. The consent items are approved 6-0. Next on the agenda is public hearing. First item is E1, public hearing for Prospect Support Center site upgrades. The public hearing will come to order. Is there anyone wishing to speak to item E1? Hearing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Superintendent Ahart, would you please introduce the matter?
I recommend the board review the proposed plans and specifications prepared by Angelo Architecture for parking lot improvements at Prospect Support Center, hold a public hearing, and approve the plans.
May I have a motion and a second to approve item E1?
Norris, motion to approve.
Alonso, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Norris and a second by Ms. Alonso Diaz. Any discussion or questions? Ms. Rivera, could you please take the vote? Oh, sorry, we're back to voting ourselves. Board members, will you please cast your vote? The vote is approved 6-0. Next on the agenda, we have other items. First item is F1, naming recognition for Jackson Elementary. Superintendent Ahart, would you please introduce the matter?
Yes, we have a team from Jackson Elementary who has proposed, I believe it was at our last meeting, that the name of Jackson Elementary be changed, the namesake, rather I should say, of Jackson Elementary be changed from Andrew Jackson Elementary to Mary Jackson Elementary. And I believe do we have some speakers, Ms. Whistler? Nobody, just, okay. All right. And I believe the naming committee has met and has a recommendation.
May I have a motion and a second to accept superintendent's recommendation?
Sawyer,
Alonso, so moved.
Oh, Sawyer, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Alonso Diaz and a second by Ms. Sawyer. Any discussion or questions? I would just like to say thank you to the students who spoke out at our meeting, coming before us and using your voices. That's what this is all about, is making sure you take the opportunity to use your voice. It's very important and valuable, and people do listen and pay attention when you use your voices. So I'm very proud of our students in doing that, and also thanking the naming committee as well for the time for that, and I'm really looking forward to our vote. Would anyone else like to speak to that before we put this to a vote?
I would just make one mention that the staff at Jackson intentionally created an opportunity for the students to discuss some issues relative to our history and to equity, and the students came up with this idea, and I think that we need to recognize the staff that intentionally made that opportunity available. And I'm very proud of that move.
Any other discussion or questions?
I'd just like to say thank you to the leadership at the school. You're doing great work and some great leaders that we have emerging. Thank you.
Okay, board members, please cast your votes. The vote is approved 6-0. Next. Next on the agenda, we have items of privilege. Would any of my board colleagues like to share anything this evening?
I just want to say, I know it's weighing heavy on a lot of our minds, the increase in gun violence that we're seeing and how it's impacting a lot of DMPS families, students, community members. And I really appreciate the sophistication with which the DMPS is looking to address that on a school-by-school basis and thinking through how they can support families. It's a tough time for a lot of people right now, and I think they're doing an excellent job in trying to target their communications to parents and students in a way that makes sense based on what the community needs at the time.
Well, let's try this again. There we go. Hearing nothing else, I'll now turn it over to Superintendent Ahart for the superintendent's report.
Yeah, I just have three quick items. There are a few people in here wearing a face mask, and a lot of people think that that's not necessary, and I understand if I'm being laughed at for maybe overkill, but I do just want to state that we are seeing a pretty consistent uptick in the number of staff and students out with COVID. That's been pretty consistent over the last month, and it continues to go up. I just want to take this opportunity to urge everyone who is eligible and has not yet had the vaccine to please get the vaccine. There's plenty of vaccine available. The more we can, kill the spread of the virus now through the summer and as the months start to warm up. Yes, people are spending a lot of time outside intuitively, but it's also air conditioning season, and so a lot of people spend a lot of time indoors with recirculated air. So we're not through this all the way yet, and I just want to put in a little plug for everyone to take care of business, and please, if you've not gotten all eligible members of your family who can get vaccinated, please get that on your schedule. The second thing is I just want to give a sincere thank you to everyone I've worked with over the last 14 years as part of the Des Moines Public Schools family. I'm really proud of the work that we've done, whether it was as a principal or associate superintendent or superintendent. We're in a much better place than we were 10 years ago. We still have plenty of challenges in front of us, but I know that this outstanding team is up to the task. And then finally, I just want to thank Doug Smith, DMEA, or actually ISEA, I guess, Executive Director, for stealing my favorite parking spot at the board meetings.
Duly noted.
All right, thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 5:45 p.m. I can't believe that. And we're going to take a short break, and then we will go into our work session.